Hi, my name is Morgan Plasters, and this is my 2024 Pecha Kucha. This semester, we visited 4 different locations in what we have called field experiences. Every Friday, we drove to these field experiences to learn what it is like having a job and working at very different businesses. This year, and especially during my field experiences, I have had to get out of my comfort zone. I had to get uncomfortable to learn. Each experience was a difficult and different challenge that forced me to get uncomfortable, take risks, and try new things. I used 3 big strategies to help when I was nervous or uncomfortable. The first is humor. Learning to laugh at myself and laugh with other people helped me to get over my fears. The second strategy I used was feel the fear and do it anyway. In our field experiences, a lot of times we had to engage with totally different people, learn on the job, overcome discomfort, and get over a lot of fears. By just jumping in, I learned that I could be a leader, figure out what the situation needed, take action, and make a difference. The third strategy I used was focus on how this helps people. If I felt uncomfortable with a job or dirty task, I would remind myself on how this was going to help people and make a difference. I had many challenges during my field experiences. As an introvert, I have particular challenges in communication and collaboration. I tend to be quiet, keep to myself, focus on my own goals, and not speak out. At my first field experience, Claire Brown Entrepreneurial Academy, I had to overcome these fears. I had to take leadership and organize crazy elementary school kids. Claire Brown is an elementary school in Aurora, and their mission is very similar to ours. They want to innovate education through the lens of entrepreneurship and leadership. Teaching at the school was my complete communication evolution. I had to be a leader to make sure all the kids could be properly educated. I grew the most when I led a game of Crazy Eights for the kids. I leaned on all 3 of my strategies: humor, just do it, and focus on helping. I demonstrated kindness, strength, and leadership. Taking charge put me out of my comfort zone. My second field experience I visited was Project Cure. Project Cure is an organization that takes donated medical equipment and distributes these medical supplies to people in other countries that cannot afford the care they need. This experience was the biggest challenge for me personally. I have a huge personal struggle with germophobia. This was probably as a result of COVID. I'm always washing my hands and prefer to stay away from things that feel dirty. I leaned on my third strategy at Project Here: focus on how this helps people. I was extremely uncomfortable with everything I touched, but instead of focusing on that, I focused on how these medical supplies would help the world. People who could not get access to these medical equipment were going to benefit from the work I was doing. I also had to work with a big group and develop my collaboration skills at Project Here. I had to speak up, communicate with the group to get things done correctly. I focused on my humor strategy. I laughed a lot with my friends and used humor to keep my mind positive. At my third experience, Affinity Ranch, it was very physically demanding. Moving hay, feeding animals was physically a lot of work. But I also learned something interesting about myself, which is that I have a severe hay allergy. By the end of the day, I couldn't breathe. I was coughing, and my eyes were swollen shut. However, I didn't complain, but instead, I overcame this obstacle by tolerating my discomfort. I used the feel the pain and do it anyway strategy. In life, sometimes we have to learn how to tackle difficult things, suck it up, and finish the job. I loved the animals. Focus on their needs made it completely worth it, and I'm very proud of myself for doing that. For my final experience, I visited the Terra Bluffs retirement home. Terra Bluffs is a new retirement home along E470 that aims to provide a better experience for retired elders. When I was there, I played a drumming game on some exercise balls with the retired people there. This pushed me out of my comfort zone because I was nervous to play drums in front of some of the elderly folks. However, I pushed myself and focused on how it could help them. I took a risk, and it turned out amazing. Upon reflection of my experiences, I wanted to think about how I started, what I learned, and the ultimate takeaways from all of my field experiences. In the beginning, I was very quiet and did not want to take any risks. In fact, I like to stay in the background and watch others engage. But because of the field experiences were challenging, it was impossible to stay invisible. I had to take risks, develop my ability to collaborate, lead, speak up, share my thoughts, and tolerate discomfort. Through my experiences, I learned how to connect the pieces and use them to learn. I had to think creatively about strategies that would help me when I felt nervous or grossed out. I had to be consciously aware of what I needed to tell myself to succeed. So here are my takeaways. At Claire Brown, my biggest takeaway was learning how to use fun, kindness, and humor to be a leader. I learned how to collaborate in a group to create a positive experience for others. At Project Here, my biggest takeaway, which I'm sure I'll use in future jobs, was overcoming fear. I had to have discipline with myself and focus on the mission at hand. I wanted to avoid it, but I pushed myself and showed up instead. At Affinity Ranch, my biggest takeaway was tolerating discomfort and putting the animals' needs first. I have also massively developed my communication skills through these experiences. This has allowed me to start my own business and get much better at meeting new people. The last big takeaway is learning to take risks. I learned that even though it can be very scary to take a risk, every time you do, you learn life lessons that you can't learn anywhere else. These field experiences have allowed me to integrate all the skills to start my own business. Starting my own business has been a big step up in courage because it requires me to be bold, take risks, collaborate effectively, and recruit people to participate in my project. All of this makes me very uncomfortable because I have to be bold, speak up, communicate, take risks, and be a leader. Looking towards the future, I hope to take all of these lessons that I've learned from my field experiences and apply them to future jobs and internships down the line. Thank you.